Hi everyone! Today I'd like to show you a sketchbook that dedicated entirely to dog drawings. Every August there is a really fun art challenge called Doggust.
The official Doggust Instagram page posts the complete list of prompts for the month, with each day dedicated to a different dog breed. I joined on day 20, featuring the blue Lacey. This is the reference photo I used, and this is how my finished drawing turned out. The next prompt featured the Blue Tick Coonhound. I like this drawing much more than the first one. The overall shape feels more dynamic and interesting, and I think the composition is stronger. The dark silhouette creates a nice sense of balance and unity. I also continued experimenting with color by adding a colored background and a few accent details. The next spread is done in rich red and pink tones. On the left is an Italian Volpino, and here's the reference photo I worked from. Since the dog in the reference is pure white, I decided to outline its silhouette with a bright colored border to emphasize the whiteness of its fur and create a stronger contrast against the background. I also added a small crown above its head using the same color to tie the whole composition together and reinforce the outline. On the opposite page is a harrier. For this prompt, I chose a reference photo of a puppy because I wanted to draw both adult dogs and younger ones throughout the challenge.
The next spread features a pumi on the left, and here a reference photo I used. This time I wanted to create a drawing that stretched across both pages of the sketchbook. But something unexpected happened. While I wasn't looking, my 3-year-old managed to get hold of my sketchbook and decided to contribute to the artwork. The drawing was almost finished. I only had the background and a few small details left to complete. At first, I thought about starting over, but in the end, I decided to leave it exactly as it was. Now it's a little memory of that moment, and honestly, I'm glad I kept.
The last two pages of this sketchbook are all about shades of green. On the left is an American Water Spaniel, and on the right is a Griffon Bruxellois. For this spread, I played with the contrast in scale. On the left, I drew a close-up of a large dog's head, while on the right, I placed a tiny little dog to create a playful visual contrast. I like how the difference in scale creates a fun visual balance across the spread. This was also the point where I started using colored markers as more than just a way to fill backgrounds or add decorative accents. I began treating them as an expressive drawing tool. I also completed some of the prompts in this tiny sketchbook. It's much smaller and more compact than the one I usually work in. Whenever I was short on time, I switched to this sketchbook so I could keep up with the daily prompts and not fall behind in the challenge. On the left is a Bouvier des Flandres, and on the right is a Tibetan Spaniel. Here I played with scale once again. For the large dog, I focused on drawing only the head, while the much smaller Tibetan Spaniel fit comfortably on the entire page. I also continued experimenting with colored markers as a drawing medium rather than just a coloring tool. I added loose, colorful hatching to the fur and replaced flat background fills with more varied, textured layers of color. The next spread returns to a red color palette. On the left is a cotton de Tulia, and on the right is a rough collie. With this spread, I wanted the two pages to feel like opposites. The drawing on the left has a clean white outline, almost like a sticker placed on the page, while the right page is a full illustration that fills the entire composition. And this is my final spread from the challenge. Both pages are built around a yellow color palette. Yellow has always been one of the most difficult colors for me to work with, which is exactly why I saved it for the end. This entire spread is dedicated to a single breed, the Kalupo. I wanted to place a strong emphasis on the eyes, drawing them at a much larger scale and with far more detail than the rest of the composition. On the opposite page, the bright yellow background is balanced by the dog's bold black silhouette. All of these drawings were created using black and colored markers. For the line work, I used Black Liner brand markers, and for the colors, I used Faber-Castell alcohol markers. This entire challenge was really an experiment for me. None of these illustrations were created in my usual style or technique, so stepping outside my comfort zone wasn't always easy. As I'm recording this, Doggust 2026 is just around the corner. The challenge takes place every August, and the official account is on Instagram. If you'd like to join in, you'll find the link to the challenge in the description below this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the sketchbook tour, and I'll see you in the next video.